Hello and welcome to my channel, Balkan Aesthetics. The topic of today's video is Carl Jung wanted you to integrate your shadow. Christ wants to purge it with his light. I don't know how many of you are aware of this psychiatrist and psychotherapist. His name is Carl Jung. He's a Swiss psychiatrist, and one of the topics he discusses is called integrating your shadow. And what he described your shadow as is all your subconscious feelings, thoughts, and desires that you may not be aware of. And people who live abundant lives, people who live good lives, are those who have done the necessary shadow work by recognizing their shadow, by bringing out what is subconscious to the surface, bringing out what's deep within them that they may not have known and dealing with it. He talks about integrating your shadow as admitting what you are, admitting the deep, dark desires you have in your heart and having control over them, right? Acknowledging that they exist and not making them a part of your personality. And if you look further into his research, you'll see that he mentioned if an individual doesn't do the necessary shadow work, if they don't confront their shadow by the age of 35, there's a very high likelihood that that shadow will begin to dictate more and more of their thought patterns and behaviors as they get older. Meaning these people will lean more into evil as their lives progress because they haven't addressed it properly. Now, it's great that he says these things, but the one thing that he never mentioned was that it is possible for you not just to integrate the shadow, to admit the shadow exists and have control of it. It's also possible for you to purge that shadow entirely, right? If we think of what a shadow is, right? A shadow itself doesn't exist. A shadow only exists because there is an absence of light, right? And the reason why it's a shadow is because the light can't go through a certain object, right? The light can't penetrate through that object, either because it's too opaque or too dense to come out to the other side. And as a result, you get the shadow, right? So what you end up doing when you start spending time with Christ, when you start following his commandments, if you don't know what his commandments are, I encourage you to read the Gospel of the Holy 12 or reading Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7 to understand what he wants you to do. But when you start spending more time with Christ, the negative aspects of yourself begin to bubble to the surface, right? And what you need to know is that these negative aspects of yourself, they come from your flesh, right? These deep, dark desires that Jung was talking about, they are a result not of your own doing, but because of the tomb that your soul is in, which is your flesh. And what you're able to do with Christ, the more time you spend with him, is not just addressing the problem, addressing the shadow itself, but over time, the light of Christ begins to purge that shadow. That doesn't mean you don't forget who you used to be. Remember how Paul said, I die to my flesh daily, right? I die daily. It's an ongoing process, an ongoing stripping down of that shadow, right? As more and more light gets in. Think of it as your heart becoming softened. The softer your heart gets, the more light can penetrate where it needs to go and eliminate that shadow that you were born into, that shadow that's always been there. And that's the beauty of Jesus Christ. He can do something that no mere mortal can do. He can do something that no psychiatrist can do. He can help you not only confront your shadow, which is you admitting you're a sinner, but then he helps you transmute that and turn that shadow, which was dark, into light through his own light. But that only comes with spending time with him and really engaging with him properly, reading his word, following his commandments, and most importantly, staying consistent with it. Just like any other endeavor you embark on in this life, you need to be consistent with it in order to really manifest good results. So anyways, that's all I got for this video. If you want to give it a like, that'd be wonderful. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. If you want to leave a comment for any other future video you'd like me to do, I'd be happy to oblige. And as always, glory be to God. See you in the next video. Bye.